If you're Aquarius and you clicked, even though the title said, "This isn't for every Aquarius," pause for a second. Because the people who stay for this aren't here by accident. Not because you're better, not because you're chosen in a dramatic way, but because something in you recognized a frequency that feels strangely familiar. And I'm going to be honest from the start. This message won't land for everyone. Some Aquarius placements will hear it like background noise. Others will feel it like a quiet tap on the shoulder. Soft, specific, undeniable. So here's the agreement. No fear, no doom, no performance. Just a calm, clear reading that moves like a documentary, one detail at a time, until the picture becomes obvious. And if you feel even one of these subtle signals, you'll know why you're here. Stay with me all the way through, because the last clue is the one people tend to skip, and it's also the one that makes the rest make sense. Let's begin with your energy. Aquarius, you've been carrying a kind of silent intensity lately. Not loud, not chaotic. More like an internal pressure that you don't even complain about. You intellectualize it. You organize it. You tell yourself it's manageable. But there's something underneath that organization, a private turning point. It feels like your spirit has been slowly collecting evidence. Evidence that something is no longer aligned. Evidence that a pattern has repeated one too many times. Evidence that you've outgrown a role you used to play effortlessly. And you haven't announced this. You haven't made a grand statement, you've just been observing. That's the first quiet clue. You've been observing more than speaking. Not because you're confused, because you're done wasting words. You might notice you're less interested in explaining yourself, less interested in convincing anyone, less interested in proving you're right. You're starting to move in a way that doesn't ask permission. If that's you, keep listening, because the second clue is even subtler. Your nervous system is reacting before your mind can justify it. Aquarius, you're a mind-forward sign. You can talk yourself into almost anything. You can rationalize. You can analyze. You can find 10 reasons to stay calm. But recently, your body has been telling the truth first. A small heaviness when you open a certain message. A mild tension before you walk into a certain space. A quiet relief when something gets canceled. A strange calm when you imagine choosing a different path. These aren't random. These are your instincts reactivating after a long season of being polite. And if you've been feeling that, here's the third clue. You've started craving simplicity in a way that surprises you. Aquarius energy is brilliant and wide-ranging. But when a cycle is closing, you don't crave more stimulation. You crave clarity. You may be deleting things, removing apps, changing your routines, pulling back from noise, reorganizing your room, cleaning out your closet, or just wanting fewer conversations that go nowhere. Not because you're cold, because you're protecting your attention. And that protection is not a phase. It's an upgrade. Now, I want to bring tarot into this gently. I'm seeing the feeling of a threshold, like you're standing between two doors. Behind you is an old version of you, capable, helpful, adaptable, maybe a little too understanding. In front of you is a version of you that doesn't over-explain. If I were to name the energy, it feels like the moment right before the Queen of Swords speaks. Not harsh, not cruel, just precise. So here's clue 4. You've stopped romanticizing potential. You're not as moved by promises. You're not as hypnotized by someday. You're not as impressed by words with no follow-through. You can still love. You can still hope. You can still believe in people. But you're done investing in a story that refuses to become real. And Aquarius, if you're feeling that, I need you to hear this next part clearly. You're not becoming bitter. You're becoming accurate. Accuracy is your medicine right now. Clue 5. You've been having moments of sudden clean remembering, not daydreaming, not nostalgia. More like flashes, quick, clear moments where you remember something important about yourself. Maybe you remember how creative you are when you're not carrying someone else's emotions. Maybe you remember how calm you feel when you follow your own timing. Maybe you remember you're not meant to shrink your ideas to fit someone else's comfort. These memories can feel random, but they aren't. They're your spirit retrieving your blueprint. And when that happens, Aquarius, the universe tends to test one thing: your boundaries. So clue 6 is this. You've been forced to repeat yourself, and you're tired of it. You may have noticed certain people only understand you when you're angry, or certain situations only change when you threaten to leave, or certain dynamics reset as soon as you soften. And it's exhausting, because you don't want to be intense to be respected. You want to be respected while you're calm. This is a turning point, because your calm is not permission for someone to ignore you. Your calm is your power. Now, as we move deeper, I want to offer a message that keeps you here for a reason. The energy shifts after clue 7. It becomes more specific, more personal, and if you're meant to receive this, you'll feel it in your chest. Clue 7. You've started feeling protective over your future in a quiet, almost secret way. It's like you don't want to talk about your plans too early. You don't want to share your next move with people who don't understand it. You don't want outside opinions diluting your vision. So you may be smiling, being polite, staying normal on the outside. While inside, you're building something. And it doesn't need an audience yet. That is not paranoia. That is wisdom. Because Aquarius, you're entering a phase where your next steps require clean energy. Now, let's talk about love, connection, and the emotional layer of this reading. I'm picking up on an energy around you that feels curious about you again. It could be a person, it could be a group, it could be a situation that previously took you for granted. But there's a shift. Someone is noticing your absence, your distance, your change in availability, and they don't know how to name it. They just feel that the version of you they could access easily is not available in the same way anymore. This brings us to clue 8. You've become less reachable, and you didn't even announce it. You're not blocking. You're not ghosting dramatically. You're just not giving the same access. Your replies are slower. Your energy is more selective. Your patience is not infinite. And the people who used to rely on you being endlessly flexible are starting to feel the difference. Here's the spiritual truth. When you start respecting yourself, life reshuffles your surroundings. It's not punishment. It's sorting. And Aquarius, this sorting isn't just social. It's energetic. You may notice synchronicities that feel quiet but precise. You may notice repeating symbols. You may notice certain songs, certain phrases, certain numbers on receipts or screens. Not because you're forcing meaning, but because your intuition has been turned back on. You're becoming receptive again. Now, I want to slow down here and speak directly to the Aquarius who really needs this. There's something you've been trying to be chill about. You've been trying to act like it's fine. You've been trying to keep things smooth. You've been trying to hold the bigger perspective. But the truth is, you're not asking for too much. You're asking for the bare minimum of alignment. And if someone makes you feel like your standards are too intense, it may simply be that they benefited from you having none. Let that land softly. Now, we reach clue 9. And this is why I asked you to stay. Clue 9. You've been feeling a strange peace about letting something go, even if it still matters to you. This is important, Aquarius, because people think letting go means you stop caring. That's not what this is. This is the kind of letting go that happens when your soul accepts reality. You may still love someone. You may still respect a chapter. You may still feel tenderness, but you no longer feel obligated to keep bleeding for it. And that peace is not numbness. It's completion. This is the moment the tarot would show something like a clean sword cutting a thread, without anger, without drama, just truth. Aquarius, if you felt that, then yes, this message is meant for you. So what is the guidance? First, stop negotiating with the part of you that already knows. You don't need 10 more signs to justify what your spirit has already confirmed. Second, protect your attention like it's sacred currency. Because right now, attention is the doorway to your next timeline. Where you place your attention is where you place your life. Third, choose one boundary you've been avoiding and make it real. Not as a threat, not as an ultimatum, as a calm standard. A standard that doesn't require emotional labor. A standard that stands on its own. And if someone responds with guilt, pressure, confusion, or punishment, that response is information. Not about your worth, about their capacity. Now, I want to give you a gentle, stay with me moment inside the reading, because the next part is the part that turns this into action. If you're still here, it means your intuition is active. So let's aim it at something practical. Here are 3 grounded shifts that will change your reality quickly, Aquarius, without you needing to force anything. 1. Stop explaining your decisions to people committed to misunderstanding you. You can be kind without being endlessly accessible. 2. When you feel the nervous system no, listen the first time. Your body is not being dramatic. It's being honest. 3. Build quietly. If you have a plan, keep it simple. Keep it clean. Keep it private until it's stable. Because your next chapter doesn't need approval. It needs consistency. Now, a final intuitive message is coming through. Calm, but very direct. There's a door opening that matches your future self, not your past self. And the only thing that makes it feel complicated is the part of you that still tries to be fair to people who were never fair to you. You don't need to punish anyone. You just need to be loyal to the truth. Aquarius, the people who belong in your life will not require you to abandon yourself. They will adjust. They will respect. They will meet you. And if they don't, that's not your failure. That's the sorting doing its job. Before we close, I want to invite a small interaction, only if it feels right. If you recognize yourself in at least 3 of the 9 quiet clues, leave a comment with a single word. Quiet. Not because you need to prove anything, just as a soft signal to your own subconscious that you're ready to take yourself seriously. And if you want, you can add, I'm choosing clarity. Even if nobody else understands what you mean, you will. And that's enough. Take a slow breath. Release the need to rush. Your timeline is not late, it's simply aligning. And you don't need to chase what's meant for you. You need to become unavailable to what isn't.